I now give the floor to the representative of Greece.
Thank you, Mr. President. At the outset, I would like to thank AHG Miroslav Gensha for his briefing, and I also took note of the remarks of Roger Waters. Mr. President, Greece supported from the very beginning the efforts undertaken to establish and strengthen the ceasefire in Ukraine through the Minsk Agreements. We consider the application, mediated by the Normandy format, as the only path to de-escalate tensions and settle the conflict in eastern Ukraine. We actively participated in the Special Observer Mission in Ukraine with experienced observers and contributed at the budget of the mission. However, a relatively brief period of optimism concerning the Minsk Agreement was, despite concerted efforts by France and Germany, followed by actions such as the recognition by Russia of the independence of the self-proclaimed Donetsk and Luhansk People's Republic, the full-scale invasion of Ukraine, and the illegal annexation of Ukrainian territories. By doing so, Russia violated the UN Charter, the Helsinki Final Act, and the Budapest Memorandum. Mr. President, let us be clear. No interpretation of the Minsk Agreements can ever justify the invasion of Ukraine, which constitutes a clear and blatant violation of the UN Charter. In the threshold of the fourth year of war, Russia has not heeded the calls of the international community enshrined in multiple General Assembly resolutions with overwhelming majorities to withdraw its forces from the internationally recognized territories of Ukraine and respect its sovereignty, political independence, and territorial integrity. On the contrary, it has intensified its attacks on civilian targets and energy assets with heavy weaponry, combat drones, and ballistic missiles across Ukraine, with complete disregard for the life of civilians. We reaffirm a strong condemnation of any such attacks. January saw an increase of almost 40% in civilian casualties compared to the previous months, 22 of whom were children. We are deeply concerned about the repercussion of this war on children, whose lives has been either ended or disrupted, often beyond repair, and we call for accountability for all violations against them. We also deplore the attacks on Ukraine cultural landmarks, as with the missile attack in Odessa on the last 8th of January, causing damage to more than 15 UNESCO-protected buildings in the center of a city that holds great historical significance for my country. Mr. President, in a few days on February 24th, the General Assembly will once more declare its stance on a comprehensive, just and lasting peace in Ukraine by taking action on a new draft resolution. Greece fully supports this initiative in the hope that the collective voice of the General Assembly will finally be heeded and respected. Mr. President, before closing, let me reiterate our full support to the sovereignty, political independence, and territorial integrity of Ukraine, and our support to the efforts towards a comprehensive, just, and lasting peace in Ukraine, while stressing that there can be no solution with Ukraine without Ukraine and without Europe at the table. I thank you.
I thank the representative of Greece for his statement.